So we are talking about systems and how they can help us in our homemaking and the systems that have been working really well for me so far. So to start it off, the first thing I'm going to start out with that has been working really well is spreading out chores throughout the week. So dedicating every day to some specific task around the house and mainly chores. So, for example, for me, my Mondays are for baking. So I bake a dessert with my kids. That's the activity that we do. Kids know Monday is baking day. So we do that. And then again in the evening, I bake for the week on Mondays. Tuesdays is our laundry day. We do laundry, we take out the trash. That's Tuesdays. Wednesdays, it's mopping and sweeping, making sure that the floors are taken care of. We dedicate Thursdays to cleaning the bathrooms, and then Friday is my planning day. So Friday is when I plan out my grocery list, my meals for the week, pay any bills that need to get paid, and then I also go and do grocery shopping on Fridays. So Friday is kind of like my admin day. So now that segues into my next system that's been working is having an admin day. So having a day where you just plan what you're going to do, things that you need to maybe be thinking about, maybe financially, what you as a family are working towards. Just having a day where you put your admin hat on and say, okay, what are our goals for the month? What are our goals for this week? What are upcoming events that we need to be thinking about? So having an admin day has been really helpful because it helps me like just put everything on paper and clear my head. And then it also sets us up for the next week. So I've been loving admin days or planning days, you can call them that. Another system that's been working is of course having daily chores. So that's another system. So I have my top 3 things that I try to do every single day. And if I don't get anything else done, if the whole day is ruined, but I've at least tried to accomplish these 3 things, I call it a successful day. So it's putting away dishes right away in the morning. So putting away any dishes that are on the dish rack and that are in the dishwasher. And then also washing dishes after each meal. So some days you can't just wash. Things happen. You're not able to wash dishes. So we have a dishwasher, so I'm able to just put the dishes in the dishwasher at least. So since we have a dishwasher, that's something I try to commit to is if I can wash dishes after each meal, that helps a lot. If I can't wash the dishes, then put them in the dishwasher after each meal. That works too. And then the third thing is to play with my kids. So if I can do those 3 things, if I can put dishes away, wash the dishes, and play with my kids on a daily basis, that is a win-win for me. And I try to play with my kids because sometimes as a homemaker you can get caught up with just like cleaning and taking care of your house and managing. Just getting caught up in the management of the household that you forget that you have this time, especially if you're staying home. You have this time to enjoy your kids. So make sure you enjoy them. Like, don't get caught up, bogged down with all the things that you need to get done in the house that you forget to enjoy your kids. So I do write that down for myself so that I don't. Because I am a very I like to get things done. I like to be a productive person. So I have to remind myself, hey, you decided to be a stay-at-home mom for this very reason, so you can spend time with your kids. So make sure you spend time with your kids. So, and the reason why dishes are the top of my top 3, the first 2 things on my top 3 are dishes, is because when the dishes are in the sink, they give me a lot of anxiety. I feel out of control. Just the house is a mess. I feel all over the place when I see dishes in the sink, and they're dirty, and they just pile up, because if you have little kids, they eat all the time, so there's dishes all the time. So I found that if you wash dishes as you go after each meal, it makes life easier, and it's not as stressful. Or if you can't wash them, at least put them away in the dishwasher helps as well because you don't see them. And then just keep loading the dishwasher throughout the day. But for me, I've noticed that when dishes are in the sink and they pile up, it does tend to affect how I am, and it makes me feel very like out of control, and so I'm not able to enjoy my kids. So that is why those three things are on my top three. For you, you have to see what it is for you. What is it that you really like? If this thing is not done, I can't enjoy my kids. I can't think, I can't function if this thing isn't done or figured out. And for me, it's usually dishes. So figure out what it is for you and make that part of your top three. But those are the three things I try to do every day, and I call it a success. Another system that's been working really well for me is when it comes to my appearance and how I look. I know that if my hair is done, if I feel like I'm put together, I have my hair figured out, then I feel like I'm a complete package. Like I've taken care of myself. Shower and my hair is done. Now, I wear my hair natural, so it is a process to do my hair on a daily basis. So what I do is I just pick a hairstyle, and that's the hairstyle that I stick with for the month. And so I usually just do twists, mini twists. I do mini twists, and I can keep them in for 3 weeks, and then that fourth week I undo my mini twist, and then I just wear my hair out. And so that whole month my hair is good. I don't have to worry about my hair once I do the mini twist. So I usually just wash my hair, detangle it, then twist it into mini twists. And sometimes that twisting into mini twists can like take a week just to get it done. But it helps to have like a dedicated like hairstyle, just because of the season that I'm in with my kids. It's like I don't have time to think about that. So if I can just, I know I look good, this is a hairstyle that works for me, and I'm gonna just stick to this hairstyle for the month, and I'm good. And that's what I've been doing for a really long time, actually. So I just stick to that, and that has been working. So I think I would recommend finding a system for what makes you feel good. So for me, when it comes to appearance, what makes me feel good is if my hair is done. So if I feel like when I look in the mirror, my hair looks good, then I'm good with regards to appearance. I'm not really a big makeup person, and I'm working on my fashion sense. So the one thing I know for sure that I like when I look in the mirror and I feel good about myself is if my hair looks good. So I try to do that. Think about like what makes you feel good. What makes you feel good about your appearance when you look in the mirror, and figure out a system around that area. So maybe it's makeup, maybe it's the way that you dress. For me, it's always been my hair. So that's what I've focused on for my system, and that's a monthly hairdo. The most important thing, of course, is spending time with God. And for me, right now in the season of life that I'm in with the ages of my children, they're 1, 3, and 5. I'm having a hard time waking up before them. We usually wake up at the same time. They're my alarm clock. So getting up to have quiet time with God is not happening. I'm just being honest. It doesn't happen. But what has worked or has been working very well is the kids have time when they get to watch TV. So during that time when they're watching TV, I go into my room and I have my quiet time. I know that at least I have that time. When my kids are preoccupied watching their shows, I can go dip out and have my quiet time with God. And that's been working really well. I wish I was the person who woke up early, and I'm working on that, but that's just not where I am right now. So this has been working out really well as a system right now. So the other system that's been working really well, meal planning. If there's one thing I would really, really recommend, it'd be meal planning. What meal planning does, especially when you have little kids, is it frees your mind to think about other things. Kids are always hungry. All the time, they're looking for something to eat. So if you can at least have those meals ready and know what it is that you're gonna eat for the week, it makes life so much easier. And you're not scrambling at dinner time, you're not scrambling at lunchtime, you're not scrambling at breakfast trying to figure out what everybody's gonna eat. My kids are cranky when they're hungry. They're very, very cranky. So I figured out very quickly that meals need to be figured out. And if they're not figured out, I'm in a whole host of trouble. And so meal planning has been a system for sure that works really well. What I do is I batch cook for the week. So I cook 5 meals for the week. And 4 of those meals I put in the fridge, and then the 5th meal I try to put in the freezer. Oh, Saturday is when I cook for the week. Usually I can cook 4 meals for sure in the evening. So once my kids go to bed, in that evening time that I have, I can definitely cook 4 meals. That 5th meal, I can just have the ingredients ready for me to cook it on the day that we eat it. And then that meal is usually the meal that we'll end up having on Friday or Saturday. And then on Sunday, I like to cook. So Sundays are usually the day that I try to do like a Sunday dinner. I try to try a new recipe, and have fun cooking because I enjoy cooking. So that has been a really nice system for me. When I batch cook, then I have all my meals ready in the fridge. I batch cook on Saturday. And then on Fridays is when I go grocery shopping and my planning days. So we've talked about before. So my planning days is Friday, plan out my meals. Then on Saturday I cook for the week. So during the week, all my meals are ready. What I do cook during the week is usually either ugali or rice. Those are the only things that I would cook. And of course chai. I make chai fresh every day. And then me and the kids plan out our meals, and I'll try to put a video in showing you my fridge. So my fridge has all our meals on there. So we have what we're gonna have every day of the week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And for us, lunch is always leftovers. I don't worry about lunch. Lunch is just whatever we ate the night before for dinner. That is lunch. Lunch is usually leftovers. Dinner is when we eat something new, and breakfast is usually chai and something. So chai and bread, chai and mandazi, chai and waffles. It's chai and something. It's breakfast. If you don't know what chai is, it's tea. So it's tea and something. And usually Monday is the day that I dedicate to baking. So that's usually the day that I would make all my breakfast items is Monday. Cooking like that has been really helpful because the kids know what to expect. They have fun like planning with me on Fridays. They let me know what it is that they maybe want to try for Sunday. So we just have a lot of fun when it comes to food. Both me and my husband love to cook, so that's kind of why I had this system in here. It's kind of helps save on groceries because you know exactly what you're going to make for the week, and you're just buying the ingredients that you need to make that thing for the week. And then for me, I like it because if I'm cooking 5 meals, we don't have to. Let's say on Monday I said we were going to have stir fry, but the kids want to have spaghetti. Like, if that's one of the 5 meals, we can play around with rearranging the order, what we eat on what day. But at least I have 5 meals in the fridge, and that helps so much. And so yeah, so I would definitely recommend meal planning. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Last thing that's been working really well, having a consistent bedtime for my kids. So I used to be the type of person where I didn't grow up with a bedtime, so putting my kids on a bedtime like too early seemed wrong. Like I felt like they were missing out on something. But then I started researching like kids sleep and how much sleep they need, and I realized that kids need a lot of sleep. So with my son, he used to sleep whenever we went to sleep. So we went to bed at 10, that's when he went to bed at 10. And my son was my firstborn. When my daughter came along, she just refused to take naps. And so I had to figure something out. And what I landed on was putting them to sleep at 6 o'clock, and then they wake up at 6 o'clock. And that's worked really well for us because regardless of the time that I would put them to bed, they would always wake up around 6, 6:30. So it was like, they need at least 12 hours of sleep. If I can't give them the 13, 14 that they need, because they're not taking naps, I can at least give them 12. So we started doing the 6 o'clock. So I would put the kids, they'd be in bed by 6 o'clock, and then they'd wake up the next morning by 6. And it was an easy explanation for them. Just, hey, you go to bed at 6, you wake up at 6. If you go to bed at 7, you wake up at 7. And it was easy for them to understand and grasp, and they took onto it really well, and it's been working really well for us. So I started that when my second born was 2, and my son was 4. And now with my third child, she just joined the club real easily. So as an infant, she would fall asleep at 6. Same time that I would put the others to sleep, that's when she would also go to sleep. And then she would sleep until like 11 or 10, and then, the 4 hours. When infants are young, they sleep for 4 hours, wake up, eat, sleep again for another 4 hours. So we did that whole little dance, but the 6 o'clock bedtime fell within her 4 hour range. So that was really nice. And it's been really nice. And now that she's a toddler, she does the full 12 hours with her siblings. So it's been working really well, and I've enjoyed it a lot because it gives me a break. I know for sure by the time 6 o'clock hits, my kids are in bed. In the summertime, it's usually 7, not 6. But at least I know my kids will be in bed. And now I have time. At least I can say from 8 to 11, I have time to do my own stuff, to kind of breathe, to kind of just have time to do things without my kids. And as a mom, you need that time. Gifting your child with sleep is important. It does. I've noticed that it does change the way that they behave. They're less cranky. When they get enough sleep, they're less cranky, and then it helps me be less cranky too because I've gotten a chance to breathe. I've gotten some time to myself to just breathe, and that's really helpful. And I would say that if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make sure that your kids are in bed at a certain time, it also helps to make sure that that time that you have for yourself, you're not just using to do chores. Make sure that you're trying to do something. It's something that you want to do, right? So that's why I do chores during the day. I do chores with my kids during the day so that in the evening I have time to myself to do things that light me up. All right, so this is usually the time that I work on videos. This is the time that I write. This is the time that I read. But it's just a chance for you to now, okay, this is my time to spend with your spouse, just use the time wisely and don't use the time to just do chores. Try to do chores during the day with your kids, and kids find that fun. They find doing chores together fun. Those are all the systems that have been working for me, and I hope that you take something from this. I hope that you are inspired to create your own systems within your household, and that will help you manage things well and better for your family. Bye. See you next time.